Football celebrations are a way for football players to express their emotions after scoring goals. For some players, they've become a trademark and a brand in itself. In this video, I'll be explaining the origin stories behind these celebrations and what they mean. Jay on the mic here, and you're watching JAIROTIFIC Productions. First up, we have Paolo Dybala with his Dybala mask celebration. This simply represents the mask of a gladiator. In a 2016 interview, he said, and I quote, "When we struggle sometimes, we must wear our warrior masks to be strong, without losing our smile and kindness." He went on to say that he transforms into a gladiator whenever he scores goals. So this is why he calls it the Dybala mask celebration. Next up, we have Bruno Fernandes. He puts his hands in his ears whenever he scores because this represents his daughter. He says she's been doing this ever since she was born, and now he does it in representation to block out all the noise and all the haters. He's then adjusted it to having one of his hands in his mouth and one on his ear to represent his second-born son. Next up, we have Suarez, who kisses his 3 fingers, then he kisses his wrist. Whenever he kisses the 3 fingers, this represents the 3 children that he has. He then kisses his wrist, which represents the love of his life, which is his wife. This one might be obvious to some people, is when Mo Salah bows after every time he scores a goal. For those of you who don't know, Mohamed Salah is Muslim, so he does this every time he scores to pray to his God and to thank him for every time he scores a goal. Next up, we have Jesse Lingard with his J-Ling celebration. This basically represents his initials, on the one hand being Jesse and the other hand Lingard. This has become a trademark for him and a brand as well, in that he's actually had a gold chain made with this celebration on it. Next up, we have Erling Haaland, where he crosses his legs and does the Zen Lotus pose, which is done during meditation. When asked in an interview, he said he really enjoys meditation and it really helps him calm down. So he does this after every time he scores to show his calmness and patience. Next up, we have Cristiano Ronaldo with his iconic C celebration, where he jumps in midair and does a pirouette and lands on his back, emphasizing his number 7. C means yes in Spanish, which goes back to his Real Madrid days where he first debuted this celebration. He does this to emphasize his enjoyment and excitement whenever he scores goals. In my opinion, this is one of the best and most iconic celebrations I've ever seen. It just sums up the excitement of a player whenever they score goals. Next up, we have Edison Cavani, where it's seen as if he's shooting a ball out of an arrow. This is done to represent the indigenous people of his native country of Uruguay. It also emphasizes that he's on target and he has hit the target. Next up, we have Robert Lewandowski, where it's seen as he has 2 fists clenched against his chest. For a long time, he's remained silent about his celebration, but he's come out in an interview and said the celebration has something to do with his daughter. He also added that "I want to show that my family is always behind me when I'm playing football," and he also wants his family to be part of his career. Next up, we have the man that they call the Prince of Celebrations because he has quite a few. Although it's not clear why he does this celebration, Aubameyang usually does a front flip to just express his joy and excitement, I guess, whenever he scores a goal. His other celebrations that he's done is when Barcelona beat Real Madrid in El Clasico, he imitated the character from Dragon Ball Z, Goku, and he did the instant transmission technique that he does. The other celebration that he did is when he put on the Black Panther mask, which represent his hometown country of Gabon, where their nickname is called the Black Panthers, and he did this to represent them. Next up, we have Kylian Mbappe, where he crosses his arms and poses. In an interview, he said he stole this celebration from his little brother Ethan Mbappe while they were playing a game of FIFA. His brother did this celebration and he stole it from him and he said he'll do it in a game. Lastly, we have the man, the myth, the legend, Lionel Messi himself. Whenever he celebrates, he points two fingers up to the sky. He does this in representation of his grandmother, who always used to take him to practice when he was a kid. So he always does this in memory of his grandmother to pay respect because she was a big part of his life. Anyway, that's it from me. Hope you liked the video. Ciao.